There's a light in the sky, rising in the air. There's a feeling so strong. It's time to light the fire, like a bright shining light. Learn, getting more out of life. Learn, sharing time with friends, feeling so strong.
Hello, welcome to the House of Wellness. I'm Luke Darcy. It's great to be here with my friends in health and fitness, Joe Stanley, Rachael Finch and Luke Hines. Hello, guys.
Hi.
G'day, Lukey. Now, we've got another jam-packed show today, everything featuring, including gold medal Olympians to hot tips to get you spring into summer. Now, here's a story, Joe, that has me intrigued. What is this? Knitted knockers.
Well,
No idea what's going on.
you just might be getting a hint about what the subject matter is, Dars. As you know, October is all about breast cancer awareness and wearing a pink ribbon with pride. But it's amazing the things that have come out of necessity, and this is a story all about that. So you got to stand by for it. It's really beautiful. Knitted knockers.
I'm looking forward to hearing all about it. Rachel, we can't ignore that it is now spring, thankfully. I love this time of year. There's a bit of change in the air.
Totally. It's so amazing how the seasons affect us, and we've talked about this a lot on the show. You know, we've all heard of a spring clean. We don't do a winter clean. We don't do a summer clean. But when spring comes, there's this beautiful energy, a time to re-energise, clean everything from our homes to our emotions and to our appearance if we want.
I absolutely love the sound of that, Rach. But you know what else I love the sound of? Hearing Vanessa's voice. Our tech expert, Vanessa Tolholker, is coming back. She spent some time overseas and she's actually done a bit of a spring clean herself. Stay tuned for that.
That's all coming up on the show, Heinzie. But to kick things off, we're going to take a look at the state of Australia's sexual health. To help bring us up with the facts, please welcome Dr Nick Carr from the St Kilda Medical Group in Melbourne. Welcome, Nick.
Oh, well, thanks for having me on.
Thanks for joining us. An area that tends to make us a little bit uncomfortable, to be perfectly honest with you. So many people deal with STIs on a daily basis, but it still feels like a bit of a taboo subject. Are you surprised by that?
Well, I don't really believe it is a taboo subject. It's certainly not for young people. The young people I speak to, they're amazing how they talk about this sort of stuff. Funny enough, if there's a problem, it seems to be more with some of the older people who are a bit shy about coming forward with this sort of stuff.
Are we a bit too conservative to be open about that?
I think sometimes maybe being out of the scene for a bit of a time and then something happens, relationships change. It's a tricky subject sometimes for the older people.
Right, OK. So what are the most common STIs that you see?
The most common one that we see is chlamydia. And the trouble with chlamydia is it's often a silent disease. There are no symptoms. Around about 4 out of 5 people with chlamydia don't even know they've got it. Yeah.
That is scary.
And they're all generally on the rise, aren't they?
So there's an increase in STIs across the board. We didn't see syphilis much at all in the last 15, 20 years, but the last 2 or 3 years we've seen more syphilis, we've seen more gonorrhea, and we've certainly seen a lot of chlamydia.
So many STIs don't have any symptoms at all. How do we make sure that we're not unknowingly spreading them with our sexual behaviour?
Yeah, that's a really good question. There are two things. One is about getting tested so that you know what you have, who you might be a risk to, and then the other is about safer sex. So one of the things that's happening is people aren't using condoms the way they used to, and that's increasing the risk.
Nick, there seemed to be a great education campaign in the late 80s, early 90s around exactly that, using condoms. Has that dropped off? Is there a reason why?
Well, I think the education campaigns have changed. We still have them. There's that wonderful ad about pants down under, and there was a campaign recently over in WA where they set up an STI screening clinic at a music festival. And the draw card was if you went there, you got a cup of tea and you got to use better toilets.
Oh, I would so do that at a festival. Oh, yes.
So there's still campaigns. We have notices on all the doors about STIs, so I think it's still happening.
OK, so why is it that those old-fashioned ones that, like syphilis, I feel like I heard in a movie about the 19th century. Why is that coming back?
And you're right, earlier in my career I thought I was never going to see syphilis again, but it's always been around, and now that, and particularly this is men who have sex with men, there's been an increase in syphilis in that community, and then it spreads across into the rest of the community.
But it's because they've never been eradicated, I suppose.
It's never been got rid of,
Right,
no.
OK. So it is kind of embarrassing sometimes to speak about STI. What happens if these things are left untreated, like chlamydia, for instance?
So chlamydia is a really important one. And we actually did a survey in Australia where we screened young people for chlamydia. We found that 1 in 20 young people visiting the GP for something else had chlamydia and didn't know it. 75% of them had no idea. And with women, if you have chlamydia and don't know, it can get into the fallopian tubes, into the reproductive system, and cause infertility. So it's a crucial disease to pick up.
So, Nick, how then would we keep them under control?
So we need to test. And one of the things that as doctors we should be doing is testing people all the time. We should be testing young people when they come. It doesn't matter if they come in for a sore toe or a sore throat.
But
we should be inviting them to have a test.
Then once if we have them, then how do we keep them under control after that?
So with chlamydia we can treat easily. Single dose of antibiotics, bang.
All right. Well, on the antibiotics, though, is it true that some STIs are becoming immune to antibiotic treatment?
So that is the case. So there's concern that even chlamydia is becoming immune, gonorrhea, syphilis, not so bad, but all of these bugs are becoming more resistant to antibiotics.
So then what, Nick? What do you do next?
So research is being done on new antibiotics. And then, of course, many of these diseases aren't even treatable with antibiotics. The viral diseases like herpes, HIV cannot be treated with antibiotic anyway.
So prevention is obviously the key.
Prevention is the key one.
Yeah. What about for younger people? I know you say that they seem really open to speaking about it, but are there misconceptions that they perhaps are under as far as all manner of things like preventing and, you know, even pregnancy, you know?
Well, it's such a good question. I did my research for this by talking to one young person. But she told me, and I thought this was really important, a lot of young women are really good on their contraception.
Yes.
But once they've got that sorted, they kind of feel, oh, I'm safe now. If I get an STI, it can get treated. And the message has to be to young people that STIs need to be prevented. We have to be taking those precautions to prevent it in the first place.
And obviously it's important for both parties to be responsible for that. You know, you can't just say it's a chick's issue or a bloke's issue.
No,
and do it together.
And sadly, talking to young people, the blokes, we're still not that responsible.
Yeah.
So a lot of blokes are saying, oh, I don't like condoms, or I can't find one that fits, this sort of thing.
There's so many lines there, Nick. None of them are appropriate for today. It sounds like we need more education in this field. Thanks so much for coming in and shedding some light on a very important topic.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
And while we're on the sexual health issue, who better to talk about it than our tech expert, Vanessa? She's going to share some of the latest tech apps and exactly what we can do on that front. That's coming up next on the House of Wellness. Welcome back. Before the break, Dr. Nick Carr gave us some insight into sexual health. Vanessa, we know the younger generation love technology and apps, so what have you got that can help them get health and safety regarding sex?
Look, there's a fantastic resource called My Sex Doctor. You can get to it at mysexdoctor.org, and it has advice for people from a whole range of ages. You can get it on all the different devices you want, and it's a great source of demystifying sex.
I saw in America recently there's something called Let Them Know, which lets a person anonymously notify a former or current partner they should get an STD check. Is there something similar available, Vanessa, right here?
Yes, in Australia we've got something called Better to Know, and you can find it at bettertoknow.org.au. Now, for us, that solves a really simple problem, but an awkward problem of having to have that conversation with people who you might have dropped out of touch with. It's a fantastic service.
You know, I grew up getting my education from Dolly Doctor, right? When we were growing up, there was no internet, you couldn't Google, there was no reaching out for the information, right, other than embarrassingly go to the library and look at the medical journals. Anyway. But these days, kids have such access to this, but I wonder if there'd be an uptake for these apps.
Look, there's an app called Eve, which strikes a really fantastic, relaxed, informal tone, but very educational, and lets people do things like track their periods, start to know their bodies really well, also track sexual encounters if they want to, and tap into a community of women where they can anonymously ask questions about things that they're experiencing.
Oh, I love that. That's so important because, again, let's break the taboo about talking about our bodies and what they are meant to do naturally.
Well, that's the thing. I think today's generation are very open to talking about sex and sexual health issues, But I do think they've become somewhat desensitised to the whole issue in general, because it's like they scroll through Instagram, they've got it in their feed 24/7. It's around them all the time. But like Nick said, are they actually using the information the way they should? I'm not sure.
And to stay healthy, hopefully. Yeah.
I went to the sex education class with my eldest. He'd be rapt that I'm talking about it right now. And you know what? There's about 3 or 4 of us dads up the back. We were the childish ones that were sniggering, and they were that cool, this generation. They were so well informed, asked great questions, had no problems at all. So it feels like this next generation. I remember going with my dad. It was the most awkward thing. Driving home in the car, we couldn't look each other in the eye.
You don't have that. Well, it's an interesting time we live in. I mean, Vanessa, first off, love the bangs. Loving the new look. It's 2019. We can get sexy times at the click of a finger on the different dating apps that are out there. Do you think there's been a correlation between these apps and a rise in STIs?
The data doesn't necessarily say that there's been an increase in STIs. However, we know that people are definitely tapping into broader networks when they're having sexual relationships with people. And so there's a risk factor there that STIs can go up because we're spreading more widely. And people are really young and increasingly mobile, and, you know, that's a risk factor, I guess.
So it sounds like new networks, not more people. It's definitely a topic that needs a lot more open discussion, that's for sure. Thanks, Vanessa, as always. Great to catch up with you. Still to come, we look at ways to launch into spring. But up next, the Legion of Knitters helping breast cancer survivors recover naturally, right here on the House of Wellness. Welcome back. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, which puts the disease under the spotlight and remains the most common cancer among Australian women after non-melanoma skin cancer, Jo.
And that's right, but we have come a long way, Darth. Thanks to the Pink Ribbon campaign, survival rates continue to improve, with 89 out of every 100 women diagnosed now surviving. But it doesn't stop there. There are always people looking for ways to make a difference.
And sadly, over a period of years, I've seen women stuffing their bras with socks, birdseed, bags of birdseed, tissues.
Cheryl Webster has seen it all. Women desperate to feel and look normal again after having a mastectomy.
For women that have had breast cancer, this is their self-esteem.
Cheryl knows better than anyone the emotional fallout that follows breast cancer. Her own experience was the catalyst for starting Knitted Knockers.
Knitted Knockers is an organisation within Australia that offer 100% free cotton prosthesis to women who've had a mastectomy. I'm 3 times breast cancer survivor and wearing it. What it does, it gives you your self-esteem back.
Cheryl swears by her product. She's not a knitter, but she's rallied together an expert team who provided cotton prostheses to over 9,000 women.
Now, it's a great alternative because it's natural. You can go into hospitals straight away, and then it is specially designed to fit in any bra.
All the knitting is done off-site in the comfort of the knitter's home. They get the pattern and the cotton in the mail.
Originally we were sending them out like this, but it was costing us $8 to send it out, and so I decided that if we wrapped it around the card that we could save postage. So that's the reason why we do that, and we send it out in the envelope.
Each completed item is checked, stuffed and then packed off to another needy customer.
There's lots of words that come in. It's comfortable, it's not hot and sticky, it's not heavy, I feel normal. A lot of them go, I can feel normal again, because really, unless you've not got them straight, you can wear them down the street, no one knows who's had breast cancer or whatever.
The business model is brilliant and is totally transferable. Cheryl's vision is already taking hold overseas.
We were asked by South Africa, an Australian lady in here, could we do this in South Africa? We mentored them and they're up and running. We support Port Moresby Cancer Council Foundation, and that's Papua New Guinea. We support Breast Cancer Network Vietnam, and we send them over there. We're soon to be setting up Fiji, and we're trying to work out how we can teach and mentor into India.
The 15,000 strong knitters across the country are spinning out plenty of product, but there's never enough funding. But on her watch, Cheryl is determined there will always be a set of knitted knockers for a breast cancer survivor.
We've got stock, and ladies, we just give them away free, and they can last 3 to 4 years. Ladies, don't hesitate to ask for another pair if you need them. We've got knitters right across Australia that want to support you.
What a great charity, and all of those volunteer knitters around the country are incredible, because not all women who've had a mastectomy want to have a breast reconstruction. So the knitted knockers are all natural, comfortable and an instant help to women who've survived.
And as Cheryl said, the best part is they are absolutely free. All you need to do is contact them and you are good to go. You can head to the House of Wellness website to find out how you can get your very own set or update them if you like.
Yeah, nice telling great stories of people doing great things. Staying on the topic of recovering from surgery or injury, here's our man from the health bar, Jared. Welcome to you.
Oh, Darcy, isn't it amazing? That's a natural substance, cotton, and doing such an amazing job for so many women. But I want to talk today about another natural powerhouse, good for muscles, good for nerves, good for cardiovascular issues.
I'm going to take the words right out of your mouth, because this is definitely one of my all-time favourite minerals, GQ. It is all about magnesium. Now, I know it'd be like trying to choose one of your favourite children here, but when it comes to one of nature's natural remedies, is magnesium close to number one for you?
It's because it's essential.
Okay.
So good for so many different things. We talked last week about localised use, but it's also important that we internalise our magnesium levels to make sure we've got adequate supplies for all the demands that we have.
But is that because people don't like taking pills and tablets and whatnot?
It is, but maybe let's focus today on magnesium powder.
Okay.
So a slightly different shift, but magnesium powder is versatile, and it allows you to really focus on the particular dose that you might need for whatever you're trying to treat.
All right, so last week it was topical in a particular area.
Yes.
How do we use a powder?
Powder can be mixed in water. Usually the pack comes with a scoop.
Yep.
There's the dose. Mixes in water or juice. And let's just look at a couple of the things that you might find that magnesium makes a difference with.
Yep.
Things like osteoporosis.
Yep.
Things like muscular aches and pains, which we talked last week. If you're prone to kidney stones, asthma, migraine headaches, cardiovascular issues of any sort, it's an amazingly versatile mineral.
Yeah, as you say that, I'm thinking about how many people magnesium can help in particular. But magnesium is known as essential and vital. So what lifestyle factors or diet factors come into play when we may be lacking magnesium in our diet?
And we're probably seeing more of that these days. So the little excesses.
Yeah.
So too much coffee, too much soft drink, too much alcohol.
Yep.
But the big trigger these days, I think, is stress. Stress depletes us of magnesium, and that's the lifestyle factor that constantly we need to be getting on top of.
And what about exercise? We obviously lose magnesium.
We do. In fact, if you exercise, you can actually have a 20% extra need for magnesium. So there's and if your body tells you through cramps and spasms, don't hesitate. Magnesium powder.
And it's a really good idea to have this maybe before bed. It's a good relaxant, helps calm the mind.
It's a wonderful way, particularly if you're hunched up over a computer or you're driving a car for a while. Great way to relax.
Oh, mate, I absolutely love magnesium, guys, and you can use the powder cream or capsules, however you like to do it. But as someone who loves the kitchen, I always recommend making sure that you have nuts, dark chocolate and spinach to get that magnesium into your life as well. Thanks for that, Gerald. I absolutely love hanging out here at the bar with you. The A to Z of vitamins is brought to you by Caruso's Natural Health Super Magnesium. Experiencing muscle aches and pains? Try Caruso's Super Magnesium.
Welcome back. Earlier we talked briefly about the effects of the seasons on our psyches. And Heinzie, you're a big advocate for the benefits of circadian rhythm.
Absolutely, mate. There's something called seasonal affective disorder, also known as SAD, and it's a type of depression that mainly affects people during autumn and winter, but it's something that people can also experience in spring and summer, but a whole lot less common. Now, this is all about the change in season affecting your body's melatonin and serotonin. So melatonin is when we want to go to sleep. sleep, and the serotonin is those feel-good energy type of hormones that are released into our body. Now, you touched on circadian rhythm. It's really important. Plants, animals and humans, we work to this 24-hour circadian rhythm, and it's about seeing the sunrise, waking up natural to that light, and then having energy in the morning, and then that little bit of a peak in the afternoon, but then making sure we're away from lights in the evening, especially screen time, to then have that melatonin kick in to get us to a beautiful sleep.
So my question is, I get a lot of people that say, I'm a night person, naturally. What do you say to them?
Yeah, it's a tough one, and it's interesting. I get a lot of emails from people saying, I'm a shift worker, I'm a night worker.
Yeah.
It's about trying to work with the best that you can do. So if you're a shift worker, and if you have to work or do things late at night, you have to eat really well. When you sleep during the day, make sure you use block-out curtains so that you're getting really good quality sleep. But please minimise device time, because it is that blue light that we're all looking at all the time, which is affecting
you're saying the ideal circadian rhythm, though, is an early rise and early to bed. That's the natural state, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Animals, plants and humans thrive following the sun and how it moves around the earth.
I think we also have to honour sleep, because somehow there's this, oh, I'm so tough, I only can get by on, 4 or 5 hours sleep a night, and that's ridiculous to me. There's
9 hours.
Good about that.
10 hours.
Honour sleep and what it does for you.
Well, something that's worth people watching at home is maybe to try sampling no TV and no devices after 5 p.m. And I know a lot of people are probably thinking, I can't do that. But the benefits to your health, your stress, your sleep quality, anxiety are absolutely incredible.
Well, sorry to change the pace a little bit, Hinesy. On a more superficial level, this is also the time of year that a lot of us like to do a little bit of a personal refresher. And here's some glam tips that will help you bloom right into spring.
Morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Well, as a busy mum of 2 running 5 businesses, I'm very lucky to have someone who comes in and does my hair almost every day for me. I think it's looking a bit yellow. What do you think we should use?
Yeah, you are looking a bit warm, so let's use the Violet Crush because that will get rid of it in one go.
Okay. Violet Crush and the John Frieda range has been really amazing for me. Being a blonde, my hair can end up quite brassy, especially with the amount of styling that is done to it. So the Violet Crush shampoo is something that I don't go without once a week. It's designed for demanding hair, and that's certainly what my hair is. I've been a blonde for as long as I can remember. I don't think anyone's seen natural Roxy in many, many years. My hair's been bleached within an inch of its life, so I find using the mask once a week really replenishes the moisture.
Okay, so how are we going to wear it today?
Well, it's got to last. I'm not going to see you tomorrow, so it's going to last 2 days.
Excellent. Let's definitely pick up the Frizzies, your extra strength serum. It's going to give you lots of hydration, bit of smoothness.
Yeah.
And then we'll finish off with your Frizzies finishing cream as well. It's going to just basically seal in all the moisture.
Okay, flyaways.
Cool.
So my signature style is definitely the messy, beachy waves, and I find with the range, obviously the styling products are amazing. One of the things I love about my hair is it gives me instant confidence. Everyone thinks I'm misconfident, but actually, I think it's a game face and the hair you put on that gives you the confidence to walk out the door.
Definition now.
Yeah, makes a big difference. There's no doubt blondes have more fun. Look, it just gives you confidence, and I'm a firm believer in that. Blondes definitely have more fun.
The fillies are firing up for Spring Racing Carnival. And I'm so excited to be part of it. My favorite accessory is my smile. I'm aiming for a wider, brighter smile. By starting now, I'll have plenty of time to get the pearly whites whiter. It'll be like those glasses of red wine and coffee never happened. It's all about sticking to the plan and polishing every day. Already, I'm seeing the difference. Ready for the races.
hint of jasmine in the air is a sure sign that the UVAs are about to get a whole lot stronger. Or is it UVBs?
So both UVA and UVB form part of the ultraviolet radiation spectrum. So it's the rays that are coming from the sun. UVA is a longer wavelength, so it tends to go into your skin a bit deeper into the second layer of the skin, and it can affect the collagen and the elastin. Whereas UVB is a shorter wavelength, and so you tend to get more sunburn related from that radiation spectrum.
Dermatologist Dr. Niyati Sharma has all the facts when it comes to sun protection.
UVB changes seasonally and during the day, whereas UVA sort of continues on throughout the year. So it's important when we talk about radiation that we look at it in respect to sunscreen usage as well, and why we need to put it in all year round.
Using a broad spectrum sunscreen blocks both UVA and UVB rays. But what about SPF?
SPF stands for sun protection factor, and it tells you how long it'll take for you to get sunburned. What we recommend as dermatologists is at least SPF 30, because that blocks out about 97% of all UVB lighting, as well as some UVA as well.
Dr. Sharma says that no sunscreen gives 100% protection, and a higher SPF sunscreen doesn't mean you can apply less often either. And the other thing, don't be fooled if it's overcast.
Clouds actually are not great for protecting you against the UVA and UVB rays. So there's no direct correlation between what the weather is outside and the level of UV rays that you are going to experience.
And the big question, does sunscreen lose its potency? Like medicine, sunscreen is perishable, which is why it has a use-by date.
If you think of your skin as a jar and you keep putting in jelly beans into it, and that jelly bean is the amount of times you've had sun exposure, what we want to do is put a lid on it, and that lid can go on at any time, and that lid is your sunscreen.
And still to come on the House of Wellness, Australia's golden girl of the track, Sally Pearson, reveals some well-kept secrets to overcoming life's hurdles.
Welcome back to the House of Wellness. Menopause is a natural part of ageing that will happen to all women at some stage, yet illogically, Rach, it's one of those topics that's still a bit taboo.
Well, I'm 31. Obviously, I haven't approached menopause just yet, but I would not have a clue what to expect. There's not much education for me around it. I remember Mum talking about she used to get hot flushes, but that was kind of the extent. And the thing is, it can happen at any time, although the average age is around 50. Most women have symptoms for about 5 to 10 years. So, I mean, that's something to look forward to.
Well, the thing is, if you say 5 to 10 years either side of 50, I'm 47, and so that means that me and my friends probably are experiencing symptoms, but we don't really even know what they are. So you don't know whether you're perimenopausal, menopausal, or post, or what's going on.
Yeah.
You know, what's really important is that we speak openly about it so we understand what's going on with our bodies.
This is funny, everyone. I think it's called if you don't use it, you lose it. I am different. Yeah. Everything about me is different. How I think, how I feel, my physicalities. So it's really tricky, and I really want to talk about it because I need help with it.
Yeah. I think it's quite a relief when other women hear other women say, I felt like I was going crazy, because that's exactly how you kind of do feel. I have been through the perimenopausal phase, and I've now been diagnosed with early menopause, so that's where I'm at.
I am postmenopausal.
I am smack dab in the middle of perimenopause, I think.
I think I'm in menopause, leaning towards postmenopause.
So I'm very, very postmenopausal with no symptoms.
Well, that's good. That's a light at the end of the
That's
tunnel.
right. Yes.
No symptoms. That's where we want to be.
That's what we want.
I was 36 when I started having symptoms, and I had no idea that that's what it was, even though I knew my mother was young when she went through menopause, so I did ask the doctors, could this be the start of menopausal symptoms? They all said, no, you're too young.
I was waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning. My heart was pulsing out of my chest and I thought I was going a bit crazy.
I was just crying. I didn't know what I was thinking. My thoughts were jumbled. Then I wouldn't have a thought midway through a thought. And it's just like, what is going on?
The biggest thing work-wise was definitely the memory, lack of loss of memory, and feeling like I was not in control of keeping on top of things and what I needed to in a professional capacity had a huge impact. So that knocked my confidence for 6.
You literally actually go blank.
I think that's where I found the online community really helpful, because there's a fairly anonymous way to share your symptoms and to seek advice. You can find out what's helped other people and then try it for yourself and then promote that if that's something that helps.
I met someone who said, I swum my way through menopause. And when they said that, I just went light bulb moment, and now I do 100 lengths a week, and I can't not do 100 lengths a week.
Wow. I think exercise is a huge one.
Yeah, put sea salt in my water, ate a lot more red meat, just small amounts, but a lot more iron-rich foods, red meat. I was doing kale shakes.
I have red clover tea, which helps with menopause, and that was really a natural herb. Chinese herbs are really good.
I do take natural herbal supplements to help ease the symptoms, and they have helped enormously with sleeplessness at night and the hot flushes and things like that.
No coffee, decaf tea. I try and manage the getting rid of excess estrogen by eating a lot of leafy greens, so that sometimes means 2 big plates full of them a day.
I am through perimenopause. I'm through all the symptoms we've spoken about, and I've come out the other end, and out the other end, because I've consciously tried to bring joy and gratitude, changed my diet a bit. I feel a lot more stronger, actually, and a lot happier and quite powerful as a woman.
Oh, I love those women, a fun group of ladies proving that when you get together with a bunch of girlfriends, there's nothing you won't talk about.
Exactly. A good laugh and a chat can pretty much solve anything. Sharing a problem makes you realise you are not the only one going through it. And as Zoe knows, there's always comfort in good company and eating the right food. This week, she's got something exotic to get the taste buds going and the travel bug biting.
Lebanese food is one of my favourite cuisines. I feel it's the perfect balance between Middle Eastern and Mediterranean flavours. Hummus kawama is what I'm going to make today, which is the name given to lashings of beautifully fresh-made hummus with fried mince on top. I'm using canned chickpeas. I always go for salt-reduced chickpeas. They're full of plant-based protein, they've got the fibre, the B vitamins, and it's much easier than soaking overnight and cooking your chickpeas. Tahini is made from sesame seeds, lovely earthy flavour to it, but a little bit of calcium added into there as well. Add a little bit of lemon juice into the mix, a little bit of extra virgin olive oil, and the thing that's going to add all of not only the beautiful colour, but the amazing nutrition into this is the Bioglan turmeric powder. Now, not only is this beautiful orange colour going to blend in with my hummus, but it also contains something called curcumin. Now, curcumin is the active component, which kind of gives us that anti-inflammatory nature. It's got a little bit of pepper and a little bit of the good fats, which helps the absorption. I've already cooked my onions just to speed the process up. I'm going to add my mincemeat, cumin, coriander, and a little bit of cinnamon. Grab your beautiful hummus and just with the back of your spoon, make a little bit of a well. And then you get your delicious mince. Pop that into the middle. A little bit of the chilli. Got a little bit of fragrant mint leaves, my pine nuts for a bit of extra crunch, and the burst of crunch and almost a little bit of sourness from the pomegranate. Drizzle with a little bit of extra virgin olive oil, served with crunchy pita. This is the perfect dish as a side dish or as a main meal, and it's going to be a sensation in the mouth.
my gold medal. The electricity that when you walk into the stadium is unbeatable. The best at something. Breakfast, because I get so hungry from not eating for 8-10 hours. My dogs. Going jet skiing on the Gold Coast. Eating chocolate. Eating vegetables. Picking at my fingernails. It's just really strange.
Oh, what a star she is. 100-metre hurdle world champion, London Olympic gold medalist Sally Pearson. And do you remember that moment she won? She's one of the toughest competitors I've ever seen, Sally Pearson.
I absolutely love her, and when she won that gold in London, I bawled.
Yeah.
I just bawled because I just, you know, you knew how hard she'd worked and she'd come back from injury, and it was such a victory. I love her.
We just heard Sally say that she wanted to be the best at something as a kid, Rach. Can you remember as a kid what you were hoping to be?
Funnily enough that we just watched Sally, I also wanted to compete at the Olympic Games. I was training for long jump and 200 metres before I made a shift into modelling, and so that was really my life and my world, and that was my dream. And then someone presented me with a modelling competition sheet, and I just decided to enter, and then everything went. So, but I really wanted to do that as well.
How about you, Hines? We spoke about what Sally does on her day off. You don't take many days off. What do you get up to?
I do try to slow down, but for me, it's all about the ocean. You'll see on my Instagram, every morning I like to shoot a sunrise photo. That's because before the sun's up, I'm down on the water, jumping in, having a swim, and I love it. Hot or cold, I'm in that water.
Well, speaking of having a swim, you do not want to miss next week's edition of the House of Wellness. We're going to bring it to you from the tropical paradise that is Hawaii.
Yeah!
We've been working on this all year.
It's so exciting!
Yeah, we're pumped.
Who's more excited?
I've never been overseas.
I know.
I'm one of the most travelled people I know.
Competition winners. Look at it. We're going to work.
I've never been to Hawaii.
Oh my gosh, it's
And
amazing.
I cannot wait. I've never I've never learnt to surf. I've grown up water skiing, so
Well,
really want to learn.
Waikiki Beach and that magical blue water. That's what I love about Hawaii. They look after the water in a spiritual way. So if you want to learn to surf, we're going to be on the main beach. We're going to be having a go. Rach, you and I are looking forward to it.
You can be on one of those main beaches and see turtles. That's how pristine and clear these waters are.
Yeah, it's so beautiful.
And the
the weather and the food and, you know, hiking and massages and yoga and meditation and everything.
And Gerald in Speedos.
I'm not sure we're going to promise you that. You can tell we're pretty excited about it. Here's a little taste of what's to come in Hawaii.
Join me, Das, Rach and Hinesy on a Hawaiian health blitz, a fleeting few days to give you a snapshot of the land of luau's, leis and beaches. Over 130 islands with active volcanoes, lush tropical rainforests and golden sands. And no, we won't be going to all of them. The famous Waikiki is home base, a surfing beach that attracts 72,000 visitors every day. While Das is on aboard, Hinesy will uncover the healthiest local cuisines. There's fitness and time-honoured rituals, a passion for preserving the land and all its riches. A Polynesian paradise that we are busting to explore. It's a long way to go for one of the best homegrown coffees in the world, but Das insisted. Oh, and the other thing? There's no snakes in Hawaii, anywhere. Aloha!
Tough gig, Joe, but someone has got to do it. Cannot wait to be bringing you the House of Wellness from Hawaii. Head to our website, houseofwellness.com.au, for even more inspiring tips or more of today's show. And don't forget, as always, to tune into our weekly radio show and pick up your local Sunday paper for our Wellness Spring Lift Out. And as always, thanks to our friends at Chemist Warehouse. But until next week, when we come to you from sunny Hawaii, it's aloha from us here. See you next week.
Here we go. You're next to us on the plane, Joe.
There's a light in the sky, rising in